بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربي يسر ولا تؤثر وتمم بالخير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alhamdulillah, once again, with the extreme mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are here and we are going to inshallah learn a few new things and we'll get closer to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anybody who had made it to the class, it's not an easy thing and it's not by our own choice. This is from the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He made us come for this class. Right? So we should be very, very thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He enabled us to come to this class. And those people who could not come, inshallah, they are trying other ways to connect. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward everyone. So today, you realize that time is flying. We are in session number 4 already. And we have a total of 12 sessions. So we're almost like 30% there. So today, inshallah, I want to do a complete summary of what we have learned so far. All the bits and pieces we have learned so far, we are going to tie them down and try to go and summarize everything so that all the concepts are, clear in our minds, right? So are we ready for this?
Yes.
Yes, Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Inshallah.
So there are, mashallah, 11 people online at the moment. A few more people will join, momentarily. So before any further delay, I would like to start from this screen, this one. Now, how many people are actively checking the WhatsApp group?
Me. Lubna.
Me. Ali.
So
Yeah, I as well.
Okay, Alhamdulillah, because that is my main platform to connect with you. Because of the email issues, I've stopped using the email, so I'm mainly communicating with you through the WhatsApp group, right? So make it a habit, maybe once a day or once in every 2 days, you just check if there are any messages. I'm not sending messages every day, but I'm trying to do it like 2 to 3 times or maybe 4 times a week. And all the material, I'm also sharing it on WhatsApp. Okay. So what I mean by that is if you look at this WhatsApp group we have, so you can see that I have shared all this material with you, right? And remember in last session, we talked about using the WhatsApp on your PC. And if you haven't done that, maybe after this session, you guys can try to learn how to use the WhatsApp from your PC. Very easy, very, very easy. And then you'll be able to download all this on your computer. Like, how do I do it? For example, if you look at my computer, I have a thing called Basic Arabic Sarf, September 2021, and then I'm saying session 1, session 2, session 4. I'm missing session 3 here. I need to bring it down here. But inside, I have all my files. Yes. So that is how I can keep track of what I'm doing and what I should review. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I also feel there is a lack of communication or there is a disconnect. Some people are asking me the same question over and over again. So to answer all the questions at one time today is the main platform for communication is WhatsApp group. And you're all part of that group. And that group is this Understand Quran Burnaby. And here, Brother Anwar, mashallah, he already put in the live stream link for today's lesson. So if some people who cannot join and they want to watch online, this is where they're going to go. And how many people, let me ask again, have been very frequent to the Burnaby YouTube channel? Is anybody looking at the YouTube channel?
Sometimes.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Because that's where all the videos and previous, for example, here, I've sent this link that if you click here, then you will see the YouTube channel. And it has all the, it's like session 1, session 2, the review session. Now, if you don't find the videos, then you can also go back to the Masjid Al-Salaam and you click on the videos, and this is where you're going to find all the videos which have been uploaded. Okay, so we are live right now. This is from the session 3. So if somebody's missing session 3, they should go and check it out here. So I just wanted to give you this quick tour so that we're all on the same page. Everything good? Okay, are we clear now?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. All right. So I sent this earlier in the middle of the week, and I said, I am providing you 7 variation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many total we have?
14.
14.
And I said that in order to review it, maybe you can practice doing the rest of the missing ones here. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do this quickly together. For example, fa'ala is the first one. Yes.
Yes.
Fa'alu is the third one.
Third one.
Yes.
Yes.
What is the missing one?
Fa'ala, second one.
Fa'ala, right? The second one. And this is the third person masculine. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Fa'alta. Fa'alta is
The fourth one. Is the third person, second person masculine.
yes. Fa'altum is the sixth one.
Sixth one. Yes.
Right. So what is the missing one here?
Fa'alta.
Fa'alta. Yeah. Fa'altuma.
Oh, Fa'altuma. Yes.
Yeah.
Fa'altuma.
Fa'altuma is missing.
Second.
Fa'altu is the number 13.
13.
Fa'alna number
14.
Right.
Yeah.
Fa'alat number 3.
Yeah.
Number 4. Sorry.
Number 4.
For the female. So for the female or the feminine, most of them are missing. So fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna, fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altunna. So those were the missing ones, right?
Yeah.
So and now maybe I ask you again, how many of you, because in the last session we did this pretty thoroughly, how are we feeling about this? Are we still lost, or we have a pretty good idea of how things are happening?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, we are comfortable.
Good idea.
I'm comfortable.
Other people, maybe other people can also join in and let me know what's going on. Can I get some more feedback?
Yeah,
Because I
Brother
just-
Abid.
Yes, one at a time. Brother Murad, go ahead.
Yeah, so Alhamdulillah, yeah, it's a pretty good idea that we are having of this, but it takes time to actually register at what we are going to talk about. So it's not on tips, but yeah, at least we are on the path.
Alhamdulillah. As long as, okay, compare yourself from day one, that the one when you started and now. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see,
Yes, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, it's a much big difference.
yes, even if you see 10% difference in you from the day one, that's a win-win situation, because on day one we know 0, and at least if we know 10%, I am very happy with that. And the second thing is, the second test you can do is when you are reading Quran. If you're reading Quran now and your mind is working in a different way and you feel a little bit more focused on the Quran, then that's a win-win situation. So how many people can tell me when they're reading Quran, how are they feeling?
Good.
Can I get some feedback on that?
How are
When
you
we are,
feeling?
Brother Abid, when we are praying behind the Imam, now we are focusing on the recitation of Quran, and most of the word, the Arabic, we understand that. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, more concentration comes up.
The new people, for example, Brother Murad just told me. Sister Nabila, would you like to share some of your feedback with us? Sister Nabila? Okay, I think, okay, she's gonna pass. Okay, that's fine. What about, let's see, Sister Homa?
Yeah, assalamu alaikum. Sorry for my voice. I'm very sick.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see. And especially for the Musanna, I usually more pay attention that when I read the Quran, I see that this is like Jannatani, and so I can recognize this as a Musanna. I can see it. I pay attention to the meaning and who this person is, right? Alhamdulillah.
So you see a difference. Basically, the point is that you see a difference.
Yeah.
So some of these verbs, I have given it to you. The way you read them is, you see it says fail madi, which is the past tense, and the root letters are here, fa, ain, lam, and then fataha, fataha, ja'ala, jim, ain, lam, and nasara, nun, sadra, and these are here. There are a lot of them. And I was hoping that you guys can practice this on your own time, because if we practice now, it will take most of the time of the class. So I'm going to leave it with you and look at the number that these verbs have been repeated so many times in the Quran, 478 times. And this is just one pattern. And when we look at other patterns, we will inshallah see that you will start to recognize in every other verse, some of these come, right? Okay, so let me switch over to my camera and let's go over some review together. Okay, so what we have learned so far is we have learned a fail, right? Failun. What is a failun? It's a name of an action, right? And in English, what do we call a fail?
Verb.
So, and we learned so far that the default verb in Arabic language is always in past tense. The default verb, whenever there is a verb written in Arabic language, by default mean
Past.
from factory. Yes. So that will be in past tense, and it will always be siga number 1. What number? Siga number 1. So you will always find the verb fa'ala. Yes. So if I go back to my look at the first word. Fa'ala, fataha, ja'ala, nasara. So by default, every verb here is in the past tense. Agree?
Yes.
And it's always in the siga number 1, because this is cell number 1 or the position number 1. And then out of that, we can make how many variations? 14. Yes. 14. So what I'm trying to tell you, that review in your mind, you should store this information as this, that the default verb is always in past tense and is siga number 1. And there is a default pattern. The default pattern is fa'ala. What is the default pattern? Fa'ala. He did. Yes, the translation is he did. What are the root letters? Fa,
Ain, and lam.
Yes. And if we look at the haraka, the haraka, like the zabar, the fatha, dhamma, kasra, so it has, fa has fatha, ain has fatha, has fatha. Okay. This is very simple information. You don't need to stress too much about it. Just listen to the rules and try to put 2 and 2 together for now, right? With practice and experience, inshallah, it will get registered in your memory. So fa'ala is fatha, fatha, fatha. Yes? Now, This default pattern can change in 2 other patterns. But the good news is that only the ayn changes. What is the only thing changes? The ayn. So,
Ayn.
fa, I, la. So the only
Fa'ila, fa'ula.
yes, because in Arabic we have 3 harakas. We have fatha, we have kasra, and we have dhamma. Sorry. Let me move my picture from here. Okay, can you see it now? Fatha,
Yes.
kasra, dhamma. So the first one is fatha. We already saw fa'ala. The second one could be fa'ila. And the third one can be fa'ula.
Fa'ula.
So the only thing changing is the middle haraka. Yes. Now, in the meaning or in the style, you will remember, you will see that some words in the Quran will be shariba, sami'a, and I can think of another one. Fari, ha. Hamida. Okay. And you will also find words or the verbs on the pattern of fa'ula. Like for example, ba'uda karuma. Is that information clear?
Yes.
So it should be very, very simple. No problem whatsoever. We're just saying that, oh, okay, I have a verb and the root letters are fa and lam. Okay, the haraka, 3 harakas, fatha, fatha, fatha. The fa and lam doesn't change. The only thing change is ayn. So the only other 2 harakas I have is the kasra and dhamma. So let me just write it down, put it in. If you don't remember, put it down on a piece of paper. Fa'ila, fa'ula. Yes, this is fa'ula. Yeah. So, and then look at the pattern. Shariba, Sami'a, Ba'uda, Karuma. So far, so good?
Brother Abid, question.
Yes.
When we say fa'ala and when we say fa'ila, is there any difference between the meaning?
In the meaning, no difference. However, when we look into different verbs on the pattern, they have different meanings.
Okay.
Shariba meaning to drink. Sami'a meaning to hear. Right? Karuma means to respect somebody, to show respect. Okay. So what is the next thing I want to remember? I want to remember that these fail or verbs conjugate with pronouns. Yes?
Yes.
How many pronouns we have? 14. Yes?
Yes.
So that's information we already know. We know that there are 14 pronouns. So the table will have how many values in it? 14.
14.
Yes. Is that hard to understand? Let's hope not. And we know that out of
Brother Abid, 14 multiplied by 3, fa'ala, fa'ila, fa'ula, 42.
No. 14 altogether.
14 altogether. Okay. Because these are different then. Okay, yeah.
Because for each third person, we have
Yes.
3 men, 3 for women, So we are just doing the 14 variation. So now look at this. The number 1 and number 4, they are hidden.
Yeah.
Huwa and hiya.
Can I ask a question? Sorry.
Yes, sister.
Yeah. So the same question that brother asked earlier. So you say that fa'ala or fa'ila, does it change the meaning? So if I, instead of shariba, I say sharaba, is it wrong, correct?
It is wrong in saying, because you will not find sharaba in Arabic language.
All right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
To explain to you in English language, when we say TO2, but when we say GO, we say go.
Yeah.
The difference is because the people of the language decided to say to and go.
Yeah.
I cannot say go. Yeah, because it will not sound right, because the people who speak the language, they have decided the rules and we have to follow the rules. Now, if we get into why and how, then we will be wasting our time, because we were not there when the people of this language created those rules. We are just supposed to follow them. And we need to identify, okay, when the Arab people want to say something to drink, they're not going to say sharaba. They're going to say derive.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is how I am going to understand this, right?
Yeah.
So inshallah, this should clarify once we go into different patterns. So in order to explain,
I think the people got confused with the fa'ala, fa'ila, fa'ula. We never use that. Those are the rules, but we
Yes.
never use fa'ila or fa'ula. We on that pattern we make other words. So yeah. So
right.
Jazakallah khair.
Brother Khalid, you helped me out. Jazakallah khair. So in order to understand the language, the people of the Arabic language saying, look at the fa'ala pattern, and that fa'ala pattern can change into fa'ila, fa'ula. Even though you may not use these words, but then there will be other verbs on that pattern. That's what Brother Khalid said. So the second part, which is important, we have done a lot of it in the last 3 sessions, is that the verbs conjugate with pronouns and we make 14 variations. So from one verb, we can make 14 sentences. Agree? And the important thing about those pronouns is that the 1 and 4 are hidden. So we don't see huwa and hiya in the verb. Yes? Right? But the rest of the 12 pronouns, they are there in the form of suffix.
Yeah.
Yes? Because when we say fa'ala, so we are adding the alif. And alif is coming from huma. So instead of taking huma, we just take the alif. So you have all the material with you. So I don't want to prolong this, but I wanted to show you that this is one of the concepts we have learned in the last 3 sessions. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. So now, if everybody is okay with this slide, I want to take you to the next slide. Okay. And I want to take the picture, make it bigger. Okay. So what we are trying to learn, how to make Arabic sentences. What are we learning? How to make Arabic sentence.
Arabic sentence.
Sentences in Arabic are known as jumla. What are they known as?
Jumla.
Jumla.
Urdu, we say jumla.
Yeah.
Jumla,
Sentence.
yeah, the sentences are of 2 types. One of them is jumla ismiya, which means nominal sentence, meaning it starts with a noun. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Jumla fe'liya is a verbal sentence and it starts with a verb. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in the previous course, we learned everything about Jumla Ismiya, correct?
Yes.
So we're not talking about Jumla Ismiya today. Okay. And the people who are starting from Jumla Fe'liya, they should not worry about Jumla Ismiya and saying, oh, I don't know Jumla Ismiya, so maybe I'm behind. No. It's a separate subject altogether. So ignore it altogether. But I mentioned it because this is part of Arabic language. So Jumla Ismiya is there. If you want to learn it, you have all the videos available to you, or I can help you offline and get you started on it. Jumla Ismiya has 2 parts, Mubtada and Khabar. In English, we call them subject and predicate. So my previous student should have the knowledge already. But for the new students and my continuing education students, the focus should be on this part of the page. Yes? Okay. So what is Jumla Fe'liya? Jumla Fe'liya is a verbal sentence. It starts with a verb. Okay. So what is the 2 parts of a verb or 2 parts of a Jumla Fe'liya? It needs to have a verb, which we call it fail. And then do we need a file, the doer of the action? So these are the 2 main components of a Jumla Fe'liya, the minimum 2 components. How many components?
2 components.
The fail and the file. So fail is the action and the file is the doer of the action. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the previous slides, in the previous sessions, we also talked about a fail in detail. And we said an Arabic action has a tense with it. It has a time. It has a concept of time with it. Meaning it is past tense. Yes?
Yes.
Meaning it happened in the past. And then it is known as Fe'le Madi. When you say past tense, you say Fe'le Madi. In other languages like Urdu, English, and maybe other languages, we have 3 tenses: Madi, past tense, present tense, and future tense. But in Arabic, they have combined the present and future in one. So they call it Fe'le Mudari. What do they call it?
Fe'l mudari.
Okay. And then there is another kind, it's called Fe'lul Amr an-Nahi. This is the kind where you give the commands or requests, like do this, don't do this. Now, in our lecture, we are at this stage. Where are we? Fe'l Madi. We are at Fe'l Madi. So we're not going to bother about Fe'l Mudari and Fe'l Amr at this time. Yes? We will come to this in future. Right now, my mind should be focused on Fe'l Madi. And what did I say earlier? That the default verb in Arabic is past tense.
Past tense.
Siga 1. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. What else I have told you about the verb? And this has been, again, a review from the previous slides. A fail should bring in your mind 4 things. That there are pronouns. When you're dealing with fail, you're going to have pronouns. Yes? How many do we have?
Yes. 14.
14. And what do we call pronouns in Arabic?
Zamair.
Zamair. Okay. And then we do the conjugation, meaning the Arabic word for conjugation is gardan. Gardan is the table. We make that table. That table, remember the table we've been making?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Third person, second person, and the first person. Yes?
Yes.
And then for each, we have male and female, and then we have 3 for each. Right?
Yeah.
Like this. And for this, we only have 2 because these are male and female. So this table, the another word for it is gardan. What is it called?
Gardan.
Gardan. Okay. What do we need to know fail? That every fail has root letters. How many?
3.
3.
And what and the fail has patterns. Yes?
Yeah.
And what is the default pattern?
Fa'ala.
Okay. If you know this much information, you guys know a lot already. Alhamdulillah. Okay.
Inshallah.
So if you can recognize this and you can understand what I'm saying, that means you have come a long way. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. Now, anybody who's scared or feeling that stress, the best thing to do is throw it out of the door. Why? Because on day 1, you had no idea. But now, alhamdulillah, after 4 weeks, you have learned something. Whether it is sticking in your mind or not, it's a secondary thing. We don't want to discourage ourselves by thinking that, oh, I'm not getting it. You are getting it. But the problem is this, with most people and myself also, if I don't spend any time on review, and if I don't spend any time after the class on this, the human mind forgets things.
Yes.
Okay, so there is no way in the world that you can do something and then don't touch it again and then come back and you feel that I would know everything 100%. But I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that we are so busy. Our lives are so many things we have to do. So I'm not gonna feel bad about that. I'm just gonna take one step at a time. And the minimum requirement is that the 2 hours you are spending in this class, you're physically, mentally present, and you're doing your best. That is better than doing nothing for the rest of the week. Agree? So everybody should feel good and should not feel bad at all because you're already making this effort. Alhamdulillah. Okay, does that make feel better?
Much better.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So if we know this chart, any questions on this chart, because I want to move forward with it. So we learned everything about fail. We understand what fail is.
Yeah.
We know
Yes.
what kind of sentences we are dealing with. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we also know that right now we are dealing with Jumla Failiya, and Jumla Failiya has minimum 2 components. They must be there before it will be called a Jumla Failiya. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is Fa'ala Jumla Failiya? Is it a sentence?
Yes.
What is the meaning of Fa'ala? He
did.
He did.
So do we see, if I write down here, he
Did.
did. Okay, how do I understand this? This is, what is the action? This is the action. Yes?
Yes.
Is this the doer?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So what is the fail? This. And what is the
Did.
file?
He.
Got it? So
Fa'ala.
what are we saying? A Jumla Failiya has a fail and a file. So this is a Jumla Failiya. Got
He
it?
did.
How many Jumla Failiya we made out of Fa'ala last time?
14.
Fa'ala, Fa'ala, Fa'alu, Fa'alat,
Fa'alata.
Fa'altum,
Faltu.
Fa'altuna, Fa'altun, Fa'altu, Fa'alna. 14.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Alhamdulillah, you've been making Jumla Failiya from day 1. But now I'm trying to explain, because now you have all the ingredients. So I'm putting everything and giving you the full recipe. Are we happy now that we know how to make Jumla Failiya?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we know a lot about the fail, right? And we also know a lot about the file. Yes?
Yes.
I want to take it to the next level and now give you a lot of details about the file. Okay? Okay, so with this, I take you to the next slide and look at this here. It says file, the subject. In English, we call the file the subject. What do we call it?
Subject.
Subject.
Another name for subject is doer. Yes?
Do. Yeah.
So the doer, the one who carries out the action.
Action.
Fine.
Who is the file? The one who
Does
do the
it.
action, who carries out the action, right?
Yes.
So if I say Shariba, that means he drank. What is the action? Drinking. And who is doing it? He. Yes. If I say Sharabat, who is doing the action? She.
She.
Sharabta, who is doing the action? You.
You.
You
Sharab-
both.
Sharabtu, I.
They.
I.
Sharibna,
We all.
We.
We.
okay.
He did. Shut up.
So again, if that is the concept, then we know that Jumla Failiya needs to have a fail and needs to have a file. The file, the next thing, important thing you need to know is that we know that file by default is ism zamir. It's a pronoun. Yes?
Yeah.
We learned that, right? That
Yeah.
the file is always there in the form of a zamir, a
Zamir.
pronoun. And there are
Yeah.
15 pronouns, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
That kind of pronoun or that kind of file, another name we can say inside file, because it's already inside the file, correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And another word I've been using is the hidden.
Yeah.
Because it's hidden inside. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one kind of file is the hidden kind or inside file. But there could be a file which is visible, shown. Okay? There is a file which could be visible. And that kind of file will be known as outside file. What kind of file will be?
Outside.
Outside. Or visible file.
Visible.
Okay, so once I give you an example, it will make sense. So if I say I sat, yeah.
Mhm.
So what is the verb here? Sat.
Set.
Who is the file? I.
I.
How, and the Arabic for sat is jalasa.
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 The root words are jeen,
Jalasa.
right? So jalasa means he sat. Yes. If I say I sat, I'm gonna say jalas.
So,
Everybody agree with me on that? So far, so
yes.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this one, is the file, is I a pronoun?
Yeah.
I is a pronoun. So we are
Yes.
talking about this kind of file.
Yeah.
So the file is inside. Okay. In this case, the is tu is from the ana. When we take ana, what is the suffix we take? Tu.
Tu.
Yes.
Two. Yes. Suffixes two.
When the file is zahir, I'm saying that. What did I say? What is the verb here?
Set.
Who's the file?
Zaid
Right.
Okay, is Zaid a pronoun or a proper noun?
is a proper noun.
Proper noun.
Proper noun.
So this is a zahir, it's a visible file. It is outside file. I'm not saying he, I'm saying Zaid himself sat. Making sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Zaidun.
now look at the translation. If I said he sat is jalasa. Yes.
Mhm.
If I say Zaid sat, then I say jalasa Zaidun.
Zaidun.
Okay. So what happened now? In this one, the file is inside.
Mhm.
And that is, yes.
Yeah.
In this one, the file is visible.
Yeah.
Because it's outside. Is that clear?
Yes.
So I'm not gonna say Zaid, he sat down, or he sat. I'm not gonna say Zaid, he sat. I'm going to say Zaid sat. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the information we got? That the file must come after the fail. Agree?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then it must be in the status of marfu, rafa. Now, the new student will not know this. So inshallah, I will try to bring them up to speed. But for now, the only thing you need to remember that the status of the file is rafa. Okay? And the fail will match the file in gender. So do we have a gender, masculine and feminine?
Yes.
So when we say jalasa, what is that? It's a masculine.
Masculine. Yes.
Feminine,
He
we got
both.
jasat.
Jalas.
Jalasat.
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 Yes,
Yes.
because the fail, the action will match the gender of the file. If it's a feminine, then the fail has to be the file has to be feminine. Got it? And the fail has to be feminine. So a verbal sentence must have a file, whether it be inside or outside, but you cannot have both. Remember, Khalid Bhai asked me last time, and I said that no, you can have either one or the second, but you cannot have both at the same time. Either the file will be inside or outside. It must be there, but you cannot have both. So that is why I did not translate it Jalasa Zaidun as Zaid, he sat. I only said Zaid sat. I did not use the word he. Did I use he in here?
No.
No. So what did we learn about the file? Let's go over it together.
Brother Abid, just one question. So here, because Zaid is masculine, that's why we're using Jalasa.
Yes.
If it was feminine, then it would be Jalasat.
Yes, I am coming to that in a second. It's on my next page, by the way. I'll show you in a second. Okay. So what do we learn in this slide? We learn that Jumla Fe'liya starts with a fail and must have a file. And in order to have a file, either it's going to be a hidden pronoun or inside file, which we have learned from day one, or it can be a visible file. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Brother Abid, why is it Zaidun then?
What do you mean is Zaidun?
Is Zaid?
In Arabic, the default form of any noun is like Zaidun, Muslimun, Kitabun, Kalamun. Yes?
Is for only a masculine or feminine also? Un.
Well, depends. That's you may have to go back and review some of the lecture on masculine and feminine gender. But if you connect with me offline, I'll answer you that question. Okay. So Zaidun is, if it's Fatima, then it will be Fatima too. And there is a reason for that. But I don't want to get into that at the moment. But just keep in mind that it's a name. So it will be Zaidun. Khalidun. Your name is Yaqub. So it's going to be Yaqubun. Yes?
Yaqubun.
Got it? My name is Abid. Yeah? If your name was Hamid, it will be Hamidun. Brother Yaqub, good? Okay, I think he just went away. So what are we learning here?
Good.
Yeah, the file could be inside file or it could be outside file. Got it?
Yes.
And we saw the example, and we're going to see more examples. Now, the thing to remember, very important, when there is an inside file, you have 14 variations. How many variations?
14.
MashaAllah. But when you have a visible file, you only have to remember Siga 1 and Siga 4. What does that mean? When you have an inside file, you can make 14 variations from it. You can put any of the pronouns.
Yes.
So dealing with a visible file or outside file, you're only dealing with Siga number 1 for male or Siga number 4 for female.
Yep.
Because that's
because the person name comes up. So and in the other ones you cannot put two persons names there for the sentence. You can only set one.
Inshallah, once I show you the example, you will understand this. So the thing I want you to remember that when it is a outside file or with a visible or shown file, you are going to be dealing with 1 if it's a masculine or 4 if it's a feminine. Okay, so let's look at some example. It will clear up the thing. So if I have to say I set, inside file or outside file? Inside. And what is the pronoun?
2.
Ana.
Yeah.
Siga number
13.
Inside file. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay. If I say Zaid sat, Jalasa Zaidun. Is Zaid male?
Yeah, Zaid is male.
Zaidun.
Siga 1.
Male, yes.
Is it outside or inside?
Outside.
Is outside. Yes? Outside file. So if it's a male, Siga number 1. If I say Fatima sat, Brother Abrar asked me this earlier, then what would I say? Jalasat Fatima. What number?
4.
Female.
2.
Outside file. Agree? Because Fatima is visible. It's not she, it's Fatima herself. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you have? When the file is visible, shown, the only 2 sigas you can use are 1 and 4.
1 and 4. Okay.
Depending on the gender of the doer or the file. 1 for masculine and 4 for
Feminine.
Feminine.
Okay. I want to make some sentences. I want to make sentences like I said, teacher entered. Okay. The Arabic for enter is dakhala.
Dakhala. Mudarrasatun dakhala.
No, wait. Just stay with me. So the root letters are dal, kha, lam. Yes, dal, kha,
Dakhala.
and the pattern is dakhala. He entered.
Entered.
Yes. In he entered, is it inside file or outside file?
Inside.
Inside.
So in the form of a pronoun. Okay. If I want to say teacher entered, meaning one male teacher entered. So I'm going to say dakhala
Muallim.
is muallim. Okay. So is muallimun is the file?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it singular?
Singular.
Yes.
Yes.
Male.
Male, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are we gonna use? Is it outside? Or
Outside.
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 So what siga number one we are gonna use?
One.
One.
So we say
Dakhala
dakhala
muallimun.
Muallimun.
If I say two teachers entered, male, yes.
Mualliman.
So
Mualliman.
muallimani is the Arabic for two teachers. Yes.
Muallim. Yeah.
But it's the verb. Look at the verb.
Muallimani dakhala.
Why? Because we is the file outside or inside?
Inside.
Outside.
Outside.
Right? So I said anytime you have outside pronoun, depending on the gender, either you're going to use 1 or 4. So dakhala muallimani. You will still use dakhala. That's a very important rule I'm trying to teach you here.
Brother Abad, I said correctly.
Yes, you did. You said mudarrisuna or mudarris.
No, I said for this one, muallimani dakhala.
Oh, mashallah. I hear you.
No, you miss one rule. The mualliman will come later.
Okay, let's not because I'm a little bit tight on time, so let's not switch gears here and try to stay with me because this is a very important concept.
Very important.
Yes, question.
I have a question.
Yes, you were just saying something important that you're trying to point out in here. Can you say that again, please?
Okay, so what I'm trying to point out that anytime the file is outside file, meaning it is visible, then doesn't matter what is the number of that noun or the file, you'll always going to use number 1 if it's a male and number 4 if it's a female.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, got it. Jazakallah.
Right? So dakhala muallimun, teacher entered. How many? 1 teacher. 2 teachers, still dakhala, because we can only use siga 1 or siga number 4. It's male, so we use siga number 1. If I say 2 plus teachers entered, I still say dakhala muallimuna, meaning more than 2 teachers entered, male, but because of the file is outside, we are still using siga number 1. Good. Agree?
Agreed.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
How we can figure out that it is inside the file or outside?
Okay, how do we figure this out? Good job. So if I say jalastu, yes, right? Jalastu, do I see a physical pronoun file here?
No.
Brother, no. Why? Because we know that this is me, this jalastu mean I sat. Agree? So that means somebody did the action. Who's doing the action? I. So I is this tu, which is inside. Have you missed the previous sessions by any chance?
My first question.
And who am I talking to?
Palak.
Assalamualaikum, Palak Shir sir. So inshallah, we will talk more about it. You know, you need to probably catch up on the previous session. So when the file is written outside, and you can see we're talking about Zayd, then that is an outside file. When I don't see anything in here, then there is a pronoun inside the verb. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. We are. Okay. So if I change the gender from the teacher to the female teacher, is the Arabic for the female teacher is muallimatun, correct?
Muallimatun, yes.
Is it outside file or inside file?
Outside file.
Outside.
And it is
Outside.
male or female?
Female.
Female.
Siga I can use?
Four.
Four.
So what is the siga? Dakhalat.
Two.
Dakhalat muallimatun. If I say female teachers entered, I'm going to say dakhalat
معلمتان.
huh?
دخلت معلمات.
Got it? So what have we learned here? Any questions so far? Any questions? What did we learn? We learned.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes, sister.
Yeah, so you say for the, can you bring the page up a little bit? Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you said for muallimani, so that it shows our muallimuna, which is a plural
Yes.
male. We use dakhala.
Yes.
What about if we don't use muallimuna? In that case, we'll say dakhalu.
Yes. Yes, you're right. So what she's saying is the muallimuna is not there, and we are saying then the translation will be they
Dakhalu.
plus male entered, right? Because we're not telling who entered. We are saying 2 plus 2 plus 1 entered. So that will be dakhalu. You're right. Because then this will be the inside file. Will be home. Yes, sorry. You see that? The pronoun is home. And from the home, we only take the waw and alif. That's the suffix. Get it?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so this is a very important concept, and it's an easy concept. If you don't put too much stress on your brain, inshallah, you will get it. We are talking about a jumla fe'liya. Jumla fe'liya is a verbal sentence. The minimum condition for jumla fe'liya that it has a fail and it must have a file. The file has to be in the status of rafa. Yes, the file could be either inside file, which means is hidden in the form of a pronoun, or it is visible and it is outside. When it is outside, we are only limited to use siga number 1.
Siga number 1.
Why? 1 will be for masculine and 4 will be for feminine. Yes. And I gave you a bunch of examples to show you how do I identify the inside noun, inside file or outside file. So jalastu meaning I sat. So if you want to understand these things, write it down on a piece of paper, then identify the file. As soon as you do that, you will know that I is a pronoun. So it is the isme zamir kind of file. It's the inside file. And it is hidden in the form of tu. And the actual pronoun was ana. Agree?
Yes.
In the case of zat, I'm saying the sat is the verb and the file is zayd. So as soon as I see zayd, I know that's an outside file because it's visible. Then the translation will be jalasa zaydun. So what are the characteristics of a file? That it must come after the fail. Yes. And it must be in the status of rafa. and the field will match the file in gender. Yes. So verbal sentence must have a file, whether it be inside or outside. You cannot have both. Okay, okay, right now it's 11 o'clock. I think it's a good point. And inshallah, we'll meet in 10 minutes. And then we will cover another new concept. I hope and pray that so far what you have seen, even though you may not be 100% mastered in it, but you got the concept in your brain pretty clearly.